is CTV News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Travis Fortnum. Lasalle residents have made their choice to fill a council seat left vacant by the death of longtime Representative Sue Desjardins. For more, we turn to CTV's Robert Lothian. Robert, let's start with who won.
Yeah, Travis, Mike Seguin will become the newest member of Lasalle Town Council. Official results released this evening show nearly 1,200 voters are putting their faith in the former Catholic School Board superintendent.
It was a pleasant surprise, to be honest with you, because as a first-time candidate in a municipal election, I had a lot to learn along the way, and I really like to thank my team because they worked really hard to get to this point.
Seguin finished almost 400 votes ahead of the second-place finisher. He believes his messaging about limiting spending as well as responsible taxation are what really helped to sell voters. Experience for the new councillor includes serving as the head of Lasalle Minor Hockey. Now, time will be limited for Seguin to make an impact on town council, with the next municipal election only about 1 year away. Despite this, he feels there's an opportunity to hit the ground running.
I have a good sense of how meetings operate and how reports are generated. So my start would basically be, first of all, I need to know who does what and find out what reports are coming up next, what issues are coming up next, because it is a short amount of time and I have to hit the ground running. The only way I'm going to do that is to be talking and meeting with a lot of people.
Seguin likely won't have to wait too long to get his feet wet. The town says the by-election winner will be sworn into office on October 28th. Travis.
Okay, CTV's Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. Thank you, Robert. Elsewhere in LaSalle, one person was taken to hospital after a car plowed through the front window of a grocery store. It happened at Zares around 2:30 in the afternoon. Police are looking into the cause of the crash. The store remained open to customers. And across town, a man's been charged with arson after investigators say the same house on Riverview Avenue has been set on fire 4 times so far this year. The first back in February, the latest this past Friday. Police say a 38-year-old man has been charged with breaking and entering and 3 counts of arson. In a Welland courtroom, jury selection began this morning in the trial over a 2021 death of an Essex woman. Juliana Panunzio was killed at a Fort Erie house party, and as Michelle Molesky reports, her family's been waiting for more than 4 years for this day.
This backyard waterfall is Shelley Panunzio's favorite place to sit and reflect on the life of her daughter, Juliana.
We weren't there for her final moments yet. We want to know everything that she did that night. We want to understand what her mindset was.
Panunzio was killed on January 19, 2021, at a party in this short-term rental in Fort Erie.
We're still stuck back at devastation and anger.
Now Panunzio's family is gearing up for what they expect will be a lengthy trial in Welland, more than 3 hours from Essex County. 27-year-old Christopher Lucas of Toronto has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. After 4.5 years of court hearings and meetings, the women have learned how to cope with the sometimes difficult details in the case.
You just let the tears fall into your lap. So we never put our hair like up in a ponytail because we just want it, to hide and look down. And they just fall off your face into your lap.
Although far from home, the family does now have a memorial for Juliana in the Niagara region.
We do have a tree, actually, that's up in Port Dalhousie in her honor, and Lisa frequents that tree quite often while she's up there, and it's a nice little spot by the water. So I think, we may use that opportunity.
More than 8 weeks have been set aside for the trial.
The judge has denied our request for access to a virtual link for the trial. I'll be traveling to Welland tomorrow to at least report on the opening statement by the Crown attorneys on the case. In Windsor, Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
Windsor police report a major development in a months-long missing persons investigation. Investigators say human remains have been found linked to the disappearance of 37-year-old David Paveo. Here's CTV's Chris Campbell.
Police say the remains have not yet been formally identified as Paveo's, but their investigation leads them to believe they are connected to the case and are believed to be his. At a media conference on Friday, Staff Sergeant Joe Fadoul of the Windsor Major Crimes Unit described the investigation as one of the most daunting he's ever worked, noting the absence of a body has made charges difficult, but he says investigators believe Mr. Paveo was killed on or around August 14th. 2 suspects have already been charged. On October 15th, 54-year-old Shane Ladisser was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and indecent interference with the deceased body. And 49-year-old Marie Christine Hanna was charged with accessory after the fact to murder and indecent interference. Investigators continue searching for a third person known only by the name Colin. He's described as a white male in his late 20s, about 5 foot 10 inches tall, with a rose or flower tattoo on the back of his hand. He is known to frequent Windsor's West End and downtown areas. Police say they believe the homicide took place at a home at 1057 Felix Avenue in Windsor. The property remains under forensic examination. As for the scene in Northern Ontario, the OPP conducted a search in a wooded area north of Kirkland Lake in response to leads that developed during the investigation in Windsor. Investigators were not available to provide an interview today, but the case remains very active, and police say the public's help is crucial. Anyone with information is asked to contact Windsor's Major Crimes Unit or anonymously through Windsor and Essex County Crime Stoppers. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
A weekend fire in the city's West End is under investigation as a potential arson. Windsor fire crews responded to a row house on Bloomfield Avenue around 9 Saturday night and saved 2 dogs. 1 person has been displaced. It's estimated the blaze caused about $80,000 in damage. At City Hall, Council has approved a 1-year pilot project to address diaper disposal concerns as Windsor shifts to bi-weekly garbage collection. CTV's Sanjay Maru has the details.
With a little one at home, Councillor Fred Francis knows all too well how fast those diapers pile up and how quickly the smell can follow.
If we had to put diapers in a separate bin for 2 weeks, we probably could, but then you start thinking about families that have 2 or 3 kids. I don't think that's an option.
It's why the city is hoping to wipe that problem away, with Council approving a 1-year pilot project, giving registered households pickup of diapers weekly as Windsor moves to bi-weekly garbage collection.
We got to make sure we clean up the mess, right? No pun intended. But, you know, with moving forward with bi-weekly garbage collection, there's going to be gaps. So being able to move forward and fill in those gaps, diapers being an example, is very important.
Council also approved a free drop-off site for diapers at the city's Environmental Services building. And while the pilot comes with a price tag of up to $200,000 a year, that cost will not be covered by the province, even though it's the province and not the municipality that's changing how waste is collected.
The facility that we're taking the material to, Seacliff Energy out in Leamington, just doesn't accept them as part of their process out there, so there wasn't an opportunity for us to include them. Research through other municipalities, Toronto and York region, where you do see the diapers collected in the green bin, roughly 70 to 80% of the diapers that are collected there in the green bin program are landfilled.
Windsor's mayor says the program is about helping those who need it.
If you have 2 or 3 people who have babies at home who are using diapers, or even senior loved ones who may need incontinence products, it could become overwhelming. And so we're trying to figure out how to deal with those situations.
The pilot is set to run through the end of 2026. Until then, the city will assess how many households take part to see if it's worth making the service permanent. Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
The messy weather this weekend wasn't enough to dampen spirits at the Detroit Free Press Marathon. About 26,000 people signing up for the race, 4,000 of those Canadians. If you didn't want to brave the wind and rain to cheer on the runners, here's a look at the sights and sounds you missed.
Welcome to Canada.
It was kind of ugly out this morning, but it's beautiful now, and they're just having, it's so much fun to be here. It's really a tough thing to do, so it keeps it going. It's a really good thing to have having support.
On a day like today especially, we didn't want to miss it. I figure if they can run in this, we can come out and ring a little bell and hopefully get them some encouragement to keep on going. I've done this marathon, and it's an amazing run. It's the only international marathon in the world, so how incredible is that? But to be on one side of it as an athlete and to be on this side to support the athletes, it's an amazing day.
To celebrate the joint friendship between two countries. And it's the only marathon in the world that goes underwater, so that's pretty cool. I think regardless of people who want to go between us, we're more alike than different, and there's always going to be a friendship between Windsor and Detroit.
And the winner of the half marathon, one of those 4,000 Canadians, a local guy. CTV's Bob Belichico caught up with him today.
21.1 kilometer race, and it comes down to 2 seconds. That's, down to the wire.
A year after finishing fourth in the half marathon, Corey Belmore took a different approach to win this year's event at the Detroit Free Press Marathon.
The goal was to be as patient as possible, so I was in the lead pack till 800 meters to go, and then I put a hard move into the win.
On a windy, dreary day, Belmore stayed in the lead pack and let those out front absorb the brunt of the weather. He took off down the stretch, figuring he might be the only one left with gas in the tank.
Didn't look around anything. It was just, as soon as I got the lead, I just, stay forward to the finish line and then, end up being tighter than I thought.
His strategy worked, with Belmore able to rebound from last year's fourth place finish in a race he led for a majority of the time.
It's a race I watched growing up. Worked at the water station, so it was cool to come back from last year.
The Free Press Marathon took a scenic tour of downtown Windsor, going from Riverside Drive, turning onto Ouellette, going down University Avenue, around City Hall before runners made their way back into the tunnel to Detroit. Now, a city official tells me that route will remain.
It's nice to see a close friend of mine and a coworker win it.
Belmore was a winner, but his coworker, Christy Ireland, was a champion. With the approval of her doctor, she ran the half marathon 7 months pregnant.
I'm due in January, so it's time to shut it down now and get prepared for a whole other marathon, which is childbirth and having a kid. So, it was nice to go out with a bang.
While Ireland moves into the next stage of her pregnancy, Belmore plans to continue his growth as a professional triathlete. He is enjoying competing in half Ironman and half marathons.
Right now, I'm happy with the half distance of everything. But I'm sure in the next probably year and a half, 2 years, I'll move up.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time.
Everyone wants to make kids happy. And so, of course, when candies are small, you want to give as much as possible.
And still ahead, the cost of candy and what that means as Halloween creeps closer.
5K a day is back on 93.9
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Hannah and Johnny in the morning for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
All right, we're going to talk about the weather, and if we want to do that, we have to bring in CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald. Gary, sounds like a little bit of rain is coming our way.
You don't have to, but I'm glad to be here to talk about it with you, Travis. Good to see you, my friend. Yes, rain is a big part of the story for the next 3 days straight. We've been spoiled since, early today, right? Morning was pleasant enough. The afternoon just got clearer and sunnier and beautiful, comfortable, near 17 degrees Celsius, which is, close to 3 degrees above season between Windsor, Essex, and Chatham-Kent. However, we are looking at a big system that's cutting through parts of Minnesota into upper Michigan. Wisconsin's in the rains already. And with that, we will see a progression. Essentially, this massive spin of low pressure ushers in one wave, followed by two, possibly three. And notice how it keeps spinning about as it slowly works its way from west to east across the province of Ontario. And it's a slow mover. That's why I'm talking about cloudy and potentially wet weather for 3 days straight, Tuesday, Wednesday, into Thursday. It begins tomorrow morning, say around 6, 7 a.m. It is light to start, And that's just the first wave. The next wave later in the afternoon towards the early evening, then overnight will have residual effects and possibly a secondary system altogether moving in Wednesday night into Thursday. For now, will be cloudy through the overnight. Technically tomorrow morning, pre-dawn, cloudy with a temperature down to 9 degrees Celsius. That's still about 4 degrees above seasonal for this time of the year. So we'll take that. By the way, the winds are going to pick up tomorrow, especially in the morning through the early afternoon. So we are cloudy and windy. We're looking at 10 degrees at 8 a.m. up to 13 and holding between 13 and 14 through the afternoon. And about an 80% chance we'll see those rains early, as mentioned. So you'll need the umbrella. My recommendation to you all, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at the next 7 days. I've mentioned the rain, and look at those temperatures. The lows get lower and lower. We're seeing 3s and 5s on the board. We will return to some fairer weather Friday into the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. The average temperature over the next 7 days is close to 13 degrees Celsius, which is, well, seasonably cool. Yes, slightly below seasonal. Rain tomorrow morning for the morning commute to work, dropping the kids off to school, etc. Be prepared. Let's look at your weather.
Thank you so much, Gary. In Ottawa today, the Royal Canadian Legion presenting the ceremonial first poppy to the Governor General.
To all the veterans, to all members of Canada and the United Nations peacekeeping forces, to all serving members of Canada's military forces, we thank you. It is with reverence and gratitude that I accept the first poppy.
The traditional event represents the ceremonial start to the remembrance period. The Legion says funds donated locally through the Poppy campaign are distributed locally to help support veterans and their families. And at the provincial capital, it was back to work for Ontario MPPs, returning to Queen's Park for the first time since June. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on one of the first items on the agenda.
An unrelenting barrage of questions for the Labour Minister at the centre of a scandal. It's over the Skills Development Fund, a $2.5 billion pot for training workers. The Auditor General's described the process of deciding who gets it as not fair, transparent, or accountable.
And what was the common denominator? Lobbyists. Lobbyists with connections to this government, to this premier, and to this minister.
David Piccini's been involved in picking recipients with ties to progressive Conservatives who scored low in the criteria for funding.
Openly admitted to a conflict of interest to the premier. Will he ask the Minister of Labour to step aside?
A push all opposition parties are behind.
I think it's indefensible. I mean, he's essentially created a slush fund for PC donors at a time when we have 800,000 people out of work.
The minister defiant and defensive about the program's ability to change lives.
We're never going to apologize for making those investments in those workers.
The minister says there hasn't been quid pro quo in distribution of funds to unions who backed him or his party. And he has no intentions of removing himself from choosing who gets funding.
We work with our officials in that discussion. We have to make sure we have construction workers on job sites. Otherwise, we will delay.
The Premier's office says the Premier continues to have confidence in his Labour Minister. The government has introduced legislation aimed at making Ontario's economy more competitive.
The bulk of the bill focuses on over 300 permits.
How we can get those permits either eliminated or approved faster without jeopardizing the integrity of the environment or public safety.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
And of course, a hot topic that could have local impacts. Premier Ford's fight against speed cameras was on the docket as well. The government pressing the gas pedal on its plan to ban them. CTV's Alison Hurst reports.
The sign promising an automated speed camera is one unlikely to be kept. The province has tabled a bill banning them from municipalities.
We've made a decision as the government to move forward on this legislation to remove them.
The legislation is in its first bill since returning to the legislature. The release says it includes initiatives to protect taxpayers by ending the use of municipal speed cameras.
Our focus has always been on preventing speeding at the point of entry into one of these zones.
Municipalities using the technology have been largely against the government's plan, citing the vast majority of these cameras are in school zones. That's something many parents want to see continue.
Around the school, definitely needed. But there are other, different areas, maybe yes, maybe no, but the school, definitely.
I don't think we don't need to around here because no one's driving faster than the 30 kilometers per hour. So because they know that the school is here.
I think so, but I think because I don't get caught by them, so I'm like, yeah, it's probably good for safety.
The province wants cities instead to focus on traffic calming measures like speed bumps, roundabouts, and enhanced signage. At several schools across the province this morning, parents held demonstrations to save speed cameras.
The data shows us that they do work and that we are seeing a reduction in speeding in this area and across our city and across our province. So why would we take away a proven method of keeping our kids safe?
Once the bill passes, the cameras must be off, with new warning signs in their place by November 15th and permanent flashing light signage by next September. Alison Hurst, CTV News.
Canada's main stock index gained over 300 points, helped by strengths in the base metals sector, while U.S. stock markets also surged higher. The Dow was up 515 and the Nasdaq up 310. The Canadian dollar was up slightly. Gold climbed over $140 an ounce, and oil fell 50 cents per barrel. CTV News Windsor has launched a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local news. By signing up, you'll get direct local content straight from CTV Windsor to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewswindsor.ca. All right, our editor Taylor is very excited about this. Canadian rock royalty swinging through the city across the river next summer. Rush adding 17 new dates to their 50-something tour, including a stop at Little Caesars Arena in August. It'll be Rush's first tour since the death of drummer Neil Peart. Tickets go on sale October 31st. Meantime, Poison frontman Bret Michaels coming to Windsor this winter. Known for hits like Every Rose Has Its Thorn and Nothing But a Good Time, the rock star will hit the Coliseum stage on February 5th. Like the killer in a cheesy horror movie, Halloween is sneaking up on us, but like so many things, the price of candy is creeping up as well. CTV's Beth McDonnell reports on what the holiday's costing families this year.
Filling trick-or-treaters' buckets on Halloween is becoming more expensive, and families handing out candy are noticing.
I think this year is a little bit high than the other years.
When I see the prices, like more than usual, you know what I mean? $10, $15.
According to a report by the Agri-Food Analytics Lab, the average household will spend between $35 and $45 on Halloween candy this year, up from between $26 and $35 last year.
Prices are higher. That's one thing. The other reason is that Halloween is actually on a Friday this year, so we are expecting more trick-or-treaters around.
On top of the price hike, Lab Director Sylvain Charlebois says the size of sweets are getting smaller, thanks in part to higher cocoa prices, which in turn also adds to the cost because of the guilt factor.
Everyone wants to make kids happy, and so of course when candies are small, you want to give as much as possible, and so people are absolutely more generous in that regard.
Smart shoppers will advise to do the math and check different retailers to find the best prices for the most number of pieces. Being choosy about what type of treat to hand out can also lead to savings.
But chocolate is the benchmark, and if people don't have the money to spend on chocolate, they'll opt for chips, hard candy, also cheesies. Those types of products are becoming are quite popular.
But some won't let the cost of candy get in the way.
I was a kid once, so it was a lot of fun, and I really want the kids to have a good time. The price is the price. Not much you can do about it.
It's happy, all right? It's a good time. It's community. It's a good feeling.
Willing to spend more this year to make sure it's a happy Halloween. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald is back with a look at the 7-day forecast. Gary, rain for the next couple at least.
Yes, I'm calling for it tomorrow morning, Travis, and I think throughout the morning, early afternoon, it will also be windy and will cool off through the overnights. In fact, take a look at the midweek. Wednesday into Thursday, see a high of only 11 and a low of 6. Now, 6 is seasonal for this time of the year. 9's a bit above. But then we could get down to 7, fall by 3, hold at 5 through the weekend. The good news is, after some rains through the midweek, we'll get into some sunshine to end the work week for most, that being Friday. And temperatures in the lower teens through the weekend, Saturday, Sunday. A week from now, up to 15 again, but showers possible. That's a look at your weather wherever you are. Enjoy a good night's rest. Keep that umbrella nearby. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Thanks, Gary. Finally tonight, some of Windsor's brightest minds building literal bridges to show off their potential as future engineers.
Just to see what I can do with my building skills and see how good my bridge is compared to the forces.
About 90 students piecing these structures together using popsicle sticks. The annual Engineering Your Life competition held at Devonshire Mall. This year, a new record was set with one bridge holding over 600 pounds.
So the event is about inspiring kids, bringing the awareness and really igniting spark in the young minds about problem solving, questioning, and understanding as what engineers do and how engineering is so important.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for spending part of your evening with us. For news at any time, head over to ctvnewswindsor.ca. Have a great night.